This is the case of Dr. Thomas H. Brewer and his assassination. If you want to know more about this case, please continue watching.
You are watching Roll a Mile in My Shoes TV.
Dr. Thomas Hensey Brewer was born in Saco, Alabama on November 16th, 1894. He graduated from high school and college in Selma, Alabama, and earned his medical degree from Mary Medical College in Nashville, Tennessee. In 1920, he joined a thriving Black medical community in Columbus, Georgia, establishing his office on the 1000 block of First Avenue as other Black doctors and dentists had done before him. In 1929, he and other Black professional men created a service organization, the Social Civic 25 Club. In 1939, Brewer led these same men in founding a chapter of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, or the NAACP, in Columbus. A lot of people forget that when people have the name doctor in front of their name, they don't have a normal life outside of their career. So it is very shocking to see doctors interact within their community. And I'm sure this was the case for Dr. Thomas H. Brewer in the 1920s. As a tactician for the local NAACP, Dr. Brewer orchestrated the attack on the all-white primary system in the state of Georgia, designating Primus E. King, a Columbus barber and minister, to challenge the system by attempting to vote in the primary election at the courthouse in Muscogee County on July 4th, 1944. A generous donor himself, Dr. Brewer raised the funds for the subsequent Primus King legal case, King versus Chapman, in which federal courts found in favor of King in 1945 and 1946. Following this victory, Brewer initiated successful Black voter registration drives in Columbus in the late 1940s and 1950s. He also campaigned successfully for the hiring of Black police officers in Columbus. 4 were hired in 1951 to patrol the downtown Black neighborhoods. As I previously stated, Dr. Brewer had become very successful because not only was he a doctor in Columbus, Georgia, he was also a very prominent civil rights activist and leader of and founder of the city's NAACP chapter. And, I'm pretty sure with the times being the way that they were, this put a very huge target on Dr. Brewer's back. And this is why a lot of people believe that, his assassination or murder or whatever you choose to see it as had something to do with his political activism during this time. And since he was a doctor, he also was sharing an office space or building with the F&B department store. And he had a friend named Lucio Flowers, which was the owner of the department store. And on a particular day, Dr. Brewer and Lucio Flowers, the owner of the department store, witnessed a police officer beating a black man outside of the building. And the two men apparently had argued about the incident. Brewer thought that the officer had used excessive force, but Flowers disagreed, and Flowers informed the local police that Brewer had threatened him. And a week later, on February 18th, 1956, Flowers shot Brewer 7 times inside the department store, in which Flowers said was self-defense. Flowers was acquitted of murder by a grand jury. He was found dead from a gunshot wound himself years later under mysterious circumstances in what investigators ruled a suicide. Dr. Brewer's death disseminated local Columbus black politicians and leadership, and it caused many black professionals to flee the city. And I think that, people are right to assume that, unfortunately, Dr. Brewer's political civil rights activism was what led to his assassination. Because, a lot of people back then didn't want to, or felt like blacks shouldn't have equal rights to do simple things like vote or even eat in the same restaurants, or in the same seats as white people, or non-people of color. And so when people tried to do things like Dr. Brewer did, it often led to them being murdered or assassinated under what people consider mysterious circumstances. But I mean, if you look at, what this man had accomplished, and, what times they were living in back then, I mean, 2 and 2 should equal 4, or as they say, 1+1 should equal 2. And I mean, it shouldn't take a rocket scientist to figure it out that, yeah, this, probably had something to do with his death. I mean, it's obvious. The man was not only a doctor, he was the founder and leader of the local NAACP. And as I said before, this put a huge target on his back, unfortunately. And I'm pretty sure when they, processed what was considered to be the quote unquote crime scene, they didn't do a good job of collecting evidence, because a lot of them, probably being, white police officers, just saw it as, oh, this is another black man that was, shot and killed. It's no need to collect any evidence. We already know what happened here. So let's just wrap this up and go home and eat dinner or what have you. And that happened a lot of times in, many African American murders back then. So, I mean, seeing as it being so long ago, no one's prosecuted, so no one can be brought to justice for this, unfortunately. But, I hope whoever, with it obviously being Mr. Flowers, who actually shot him, I hope he didn't receive a moment's peace after this, because they were supposed to be friends. And then, he died under mysterious circumstances, which they ruled a suicide, years later. But with that being said, hopefully, he didn't get a moment's peace after that, and it haunted him to the day he died. But if you guys like this video, please don't forget to like the video, share this video with everyone, your family and friends, and leave your thoughts down in the comment section below what you think might have led to his death, or do you agree with what I said, or could there be another theory? And please, if you are not already subscribed, subscribe to the channel. And with that, I will see you on the next one.